One summer night, a 13-year-old girl stayed over at her best friend's house. By morning, she was gone. Her bed was empty. The bedroom window was wide open. All of her belongings were still inside. In a town where nothing ever seemed to happen, this moment changed everything. The girl's name was Sarah Miller. She was born on June 7th, 1991, and grew up in a large and loving family with several brothers and sisters. Her parents described her as curious, creative, and full of energy. Later, the family moved to Lakeland, Florida, where Sarah attended middle school. She loved dancing and spent hours practicing choreography in her room. She enjoyed writing poetry and playing musical instruments. Friends remembered her as kind, gentle, and always smiling. Every summer, Sarah traveled to a small town in Iowa called Cedar Falls to stay with her grandparents. Cedar Falls was a quiet place with a population of about 1,400 people. Neighbors knew one another. Children rode their bikes through the streets without fear. Most families never locked their doors. It felt like the kind of town where nothing bad could ever happen. In the summer of 2004, after finishing 7th grade, Sarah arrived in Cedar Falls for vacation. She reunited with her childhood friends and spent her days swimming, walking around town, and enjoying her freedom from school. On June 20th, Sarah stayed overnight at her best friend's house. The girls talked late into the night. They laughed, shared secrets, and planned what they would do the next day. Eventually, they fell asleep. No one knew that this would be the last normal night of Sarah's life. The next morning, Sarah's friend woke up and realized something was wrong. Sarah was gone. Her bed was empty. The window in the bedroom was open. Her clothes, shoes, and backpack were still inside the room. Sarah had disappeared during the night, wearing only her pajamas. At first, the family thought she might be outside or had gone home early. They searched the house, they checked the yard, they walked the nearby streets. No one had seen her. Panic began to set in. Police were called immediately. Officers arrived and searched the area around the house. They found no signs of forced entry, no broken glass, no sounds reported during the night. Sarah's friend said she heard nothing unusual. Her parents and siblings had been asleep in the house, and none of them noticed anything strange. Investigators suggested that Sarah may have left the house on her own, but her family strongly disagreed. They said Sarah had no reason to run away. She loved being in Cedar Falls. She had plans for the next day, and she had left everything behind. If she had intended to leave, why would she take nothing with her? Police later examined Sarah's computer. They discovered online messages with an unknown boy. There was no mention of meeting in person, but detectives believed this supported the theory that Sarah had chosen to leave. Word spread through the town. Some residents began to believe that Sarah had run away. Others felt something far more serious had happened. Days passed, then weeks. There were no leads, no witnesses, no answers. 2 weeks after Sarah disappeared, hikers made a shocking discovery. In a forest about 6 miles outside of town, they found a body. It was Sarah. She was still wearing the same pajamas she had disappeared in. Investigators determined that she had died the same night she vanished. They believed she had been taken somewhere else and later brought to the forest. The peaceful town of Cedar Falls was suddenly the center of a homicide investigation. Police questioned nearly 400 residents. They used lie detector tests. They searched homes. They followed every possible lead, but nothing brought them closer to an arrest. Then a new piece of evidence changed the direction of the case. Sarah's diary was found. Inside, she had written about being afraid of an adult man. Several pages had been torn out. Her friends later told police that Sarah had named this man. It was Brian Thompson, the father of the friend whose house she stayed at the night she disappeared. This meant the main suspect had been inside the home when Sarah vanished. Brian Thompson denied everything. There was no DNA evidence, no physical proof, no witnesses. Detectives struggled to understand how a crime could have happened inside a busy family home without waking anyone. Then another disturbing fact came to light. Brian's sister, Laura Thompson, worked at the local police department and had access to the investigation. Years earlier, she had lost a job at another department for altering a report to protect her brother after a drunk driving incident. Investigators began to suspect that she was helping Brian avoid suspicion. For years, the case went cold. Sarah's family lived with unanswered questions. Her mother said the hardest part was not knowing what truly happened that night. Then, in 2011, everything changed. A woman from Texas contacted police. She said that when she was 13 years old, she had stayed overnight at the Thompson house. During the night, Brian had behaved inappropriately toward her and another girl. They were too afraid to report it at the time. After her statement, more women came forward. Each told a similar story: sleepovers, late at night, and threats to keep quiet. A disturbing pattern began to emerge. Brian Thompson was arrested and charged with multiple crimes. He was officially named the prime suspect in Sarah's case. He was released while waiting for trial. The town waited for justice, but it would never come. On the morning of his court hearing, Brian did not show up. His car was later found in a forest near town. He had taken his own life. After his death, police searched his house again, but they found no direct evidence connecting him to Sarah's murder. Laura Thompson was later arrested for interfering with the investigation and misleading detectives. She admitted that she had helped her brother avoid suspicion. She received a light sentence. Sarah's family was devastated. No one was ever officially convicted of her murder. To this day, the case remains unsolved, but many investigators believe they know who was responsible. Sarah's mother now speaks publicly about the need for better protection for children and stronger investigations in missing persons cases. The town of Cedar Falls has never been the same. What once felt safe now carries a permanent shadow. A quiet summer night became a mystery that still haunts those who remember Sarah, and a 13-year-old girl who loved dancing, poetry, and music became a name that would never be forgotten. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to File 13 True Crime for more stories.